If we want to build a thinking classroom, we have to stop doing all the thinking for our students. Problem-based learning puts students at the center of their learning experience. Instead of passively watching a teacher model procedures, students wrestle with meaningful, open-ended problems that require reasoning, collaboration, and creativity. This is how we shift from compliance to engagement, from memorizing steps to making sense of math. Students work in groups and interact with each other. They rely on one another for help. We need to make sure our workspace is allowing students to work collaboratively. They will work on non-permanent boards standing with one marker and enough space for the teacher to walk around and answer any questions. How and the way we give our tasks is so important. It should be in front of the classroom, in a small group, in a huddle, and engaging them in a really good problem that builds on their curiosity. Let's see it in action in the tax collector problem.
When are you learning how to pay taxes? Okay? You do have to pay taxes on everything. So guess what, you guys? It's payday, okay? And there are 12 envelopes up here, okay? And you guys, listen up. This is your task. You get to pick an envelope inside. Money! Change. Change. That's illegal. You can't print money. Okay? Oh, and look at this face on. You guys can Dr. Lee dollars. How about that?
What? Dr. Lee dollars?
All right. So here's the thing.
Pretty
now,
cool.
Pedro, you get to pick any one of these envelopes. Okay, but here's the thing. When you pick an envelope, it's yours to keep. Okay? But you have to pay the tax teacher. Okay? So your goal in this task is to try to get as much money as you can and to make sure that the tax teacher, Dr. V, has as little money as she can.
And you can't do tax evasion?
So,
That's legal.
who wants to take an envelope? Let's see. Okay,
I'll pay you from following your Instagram.
Okay, thank you. Go on, Lee, pick an envelope. Okay? Okay? All right. Ooh, she picked 11. Nicely done.
Ooh.
Okay, so everybody, Lee picked 11. Okay? So, because she picked 11, she has to pay the tax teacher $1. Okay? Okay? Who wants to pick an envelope? Okay, Pedro. El hombre. Vámonos.
And then you gotta get ready. You gotta take your jacket off.
Okay? Let's see. Okay.
Ooh.
Pedro picked number
Ooh.
6. Nicely done, senor. Okay, so he picked 6. That means he has to pay me
$6.
$2 and $3.
Now that the teacher has introduced the task, it's time for the students to get to work at the whiteboards. They are in random groups, sharing a marker, collaborating, while the teacher comes around and gives feedback. Let's take a look at what this looks like in the classroom.
It's our math task. Students are working at the board. They're doing the tax collector task. And this basically is from building thinking classrooms. Students want to beat that teacher and make the most money. So it's helping them think about factors and prime numbers and how they can decompose a number into its factors. Trying to get more money than the teacher. So what's your strategy for starting here?
Take all the...
Did you start with 20?
We started with 11.
Okay, so why do you have 20 up here?
Wait.
You're starting with 11 is the first number you're taking?
Yeah.
So I get 1, okay? And you get 10 and 2 and 5, okay. So I just thought you were starting 20 because I saw that up there. No? Okay, great. Looks like you have a good strategy. Starting with this number, what kind of number is this? Why did you start with this number and not 19? If 19 is also a prime number. Isn't 19 bigger than 11?
That would have been smarter.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, try that. Because it's higher. I was just curious what your thoughts were, that's all.
Okay.
So can you tell me about what you started with here?
We started with 2. And
Okay.
got 1. So it was 6, so we got 3, but we already used 2, so we can only put 3.
I see.
Then we put 10, but and we put 5, but we can only use 5 because we already have 2. We put 8, but we couldn't use 2 because we already have 2, and so we just put 4. And 18, we put 9. We can't use 2 because we already used 2, so we just put 9.
Wow. So your strategy is to do what? I see a strategy. I'm looking for a pattern here.
I don't.
It looks like you're trying to like pick numbers that have less factors left based on what you picked before.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you agree with that, Shade?
Yeah.
How's that working so far for you?
Good.
No, I got it.
Looks like you have more than me right now.
We're gonna make this 20.
Oh, that's good.
Then 10. Yeah. Okay. Then we erase the 4.
So Alice, Gemma, what number did you start with?
We started with 19
Why did you pick 19?
because it was a multi. Well, because it would have a 1.
So it's only divisible by 1 in itself? 19, what kind of number is that if it only has one factor, 1 in itself?
It's
or
a
two?
prime number.
A prime number, very good. So that was your strategy. Someone said they have it? Okay, I'm gonna come check. And so you started with what number?
7.
Why did you start with 7?
Because the only factor is 1, and it's like
Great, so do you know what that's called when a number only has one?
prime number.
Yeah, awesome.
And then 9, we did 3 because the one's already used.
Uh-huh.
And then for 8, we did 4 and 2. And then 10, we did 5 because the 2's used up, and the 1. And then for 12, we did 6 because that's like the only number that it can be divided by. And then we had 11, so we added that.
Awesome. All right, let me check this. Great work, ladies. Looks correct.
I know, but